Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video. All right, y'all, back with my post-fight analysis of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. All right, y'all, talked about this last night already, gave some other points of the fight, but I just want to go back and give you my technical analysis and also my opinion on the fight, about both fighters as a whole. So, first off, I got to say, great fight. I'm an old head when it comes to boxing, but I enjoyed the fight. Definitely doesn't hold up to my top 10 heavyweight fights of all time, but it was a good fight. It was definitely a good fight and a good way to, I might as well say, close out 2021 with the heavyweight division, because I don't know if the next 2 months are going to bring any more thrilling heavyweight fights like this. So we can go ahead and say this is probably the best heavyweight fight of 2021. We didn't have many more before this either that were really great. Joshua Usyk was a good fight, but this here was, action packed. It had drama, it had technical skills. It had warrior's heart from both guys. It had knockdowns. It had everything. Two big guys just going at it. Just good fight all around. I was going for Deontay Wilder in this fight. I thought he was going to make the proper adjustments he needed just to get the power punches off that he needed to score the knockout. Now, I knew he wasn't going to go in there and just be this whole different Wilder. It wasn't like he was going to be this whole different fighter that could just box Tyson Fury's head off. That wasn't going to happen. I never thought that. My whole thing was just add a couple of things to his add a couple of new tools to his arsenal to set up the right hand and set up the power punches. Whether it be the right hand or the left hook, you want to box just a little bit, just enough to get your punches off. Like when you look at punches like Julian Jackson or even Danny Garcia, those guys, they have great timing, and they don't just rely on one punch. They have power in both hands. They know how to go to the body. They know how to walk you down and eventually walk you into the right or the left hand. They're not just known for wild swings. So going into this fight here, I wanted to see Deontay Wilder, establish a better jab, which he started off in the first round. He should have established a better jab, and committed to it. Commitment's his problem, commitment and execution. I think Malik Scott, shout out to Malik Scott, I think he did a great job of trying to bring the best out of Wilder and something new as well. But it's just up to the fighter to be able to execute it, and commit to it. I know Wilder's so used to knocking people out, but, sometimes you got to box guys. This is the game of boxing. Sometimes you got the sport of boxing. You got to box guys out sometime and then eventually get your knockout. But, yeah, I wanted to see Wilder set up the knockout, if you will, a little bit more, but he wasn't able to. He abandoned his jab to the body after the first round. Looking at Tyson Fury, there was no need to change anything about what he did, from the first fight to the second fight. Just be the tall, long boxer with his basic 1-2 and use his weight. Deontay Wilder's a big fighter, but Tyson Fury's an even bigger fighter. You know what I mean? Like, he's not like muscular, but the guy knows how to use his size. It's what's on the inside that counts with Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? It's his conditioning, it's his resilience, it's his commitment, and it's his heart, it's his toughness. You know what I mean? The guy's going to go through hell and back, and he's going to wear you down. He's going to maul and he's going to brawl you, but he's also going to box you pretty at times as well, which is what I always say. Like, to me, physical strength is one of the most precious things in boxing. Like, you'll hear me talk about physical strength all the time. All of my favorite fighters have that physical strength. That's, on my roster, all my favorite fighters have physical strength. And I favor physical strength more than I do power. Always, because you've seen what Tyson Fury could do with it. If you go all the way back to guys like Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Muhammad Ali, other divisions like Andre Ward, Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather, all of these fighters, Terrence Crawford, all of these guys, they possess physical strength where they get stronger. Errol Spence, they all possess physical strength where they can maul you, they can push you back, or they get stronger as the rounds progress. You know what I mean? Like, Tyson Fury in this fight, when he got dropped, he got stronger. I'm not gonna lie, when he got dropped, you could see it. Like, he laid back on his elbows, but if you looked in his eyes, he was like, oh, I got dropped, but that means it's time to turn it up. Not go on the back foot, but turn it up. And that's what he did. Every time Wilder got dropped, it would do something to him psychologically. Like, when he got dropped, you could see it in his face that he was hurt. No lie. He was hurt. Like, let's just go back and look at the fight real quick. First round, Wilder, he did a good job. Of establishing the jab. So right away, I was like, okay, there we go. Like, Wilder started throwing the jab to the body. And I like the jab to the body because the way he was taking his head off the line, his head was at an angle, and his body was at an angle away from Tyson Fury's right hand and any uppercuts that were coming. See, he would dip low, throw the straight jab to the body, and he would step right back out of harm's way. And that's all he had to do. He was just popping it off right away, just staying busy the first round. Now, Tyson Fury might have made an adjustment later on down the line to it, but overall, I think if he would have committed to the jab to the body, the straight right hand up top would have came eventually. So, thudding jabs to the body won him the first round. And then in the second, Tyson Fury, he started getting into a groove with his right hand. In that round, he cracked Deontay Wilder with a good right hand, and put Deontay on wobbly legs already at the end of the round. So going into the third round, I already knew, like, when Tyson Fury puts them punches together, they're gonna thud. They're gonna thud Wilder and probably drop him. And lo and behold, Wilder ate another right hand. He got dropped. His equilibrium was off, took him off his legs. My man P, he had asked me about. He had texted me. He was like, "What is it about Tyson Fury's punches that Wilder just can't take?" Well, the thing about that is, we're probably going to talk about this on our show later, though, is thing about that is Wilder's head is always on the line. Wilder's head is always on the line. He doesn't take it off the line. So a basic 1-2 thrown by a very, very big, strong fighter, and they throw it with intensity and they turn it over perfect, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. You know what I mean? Tyson Fury is not a feather-fisted guy. I never thought of him as like a hard, like concussive hitter, but he's a big guy. And when he throws punches, it's going to hurt. All right? It's going to hurt, especially if you don't take your head off the line. When you don't take your head off the line, you're going to eat every bit of that power and that impact. So whenever Wilder just pulls straight back, which he does at times, he'll pull straight back, he's gonna feel that power at the end of it whenever Tyson Fury extends all 80 something inches of his reach. When he extends that fully, Wilder's gonna feel it. Even if he doesn't like extend and pull back, and Wilder's like moving his head forward or just keeping it on the line, that's like getting hit over and over with like a big rock to the head. You know what I mean? Like somebody's just constantly hitting you over and over with maybe like a sandbag to the head over and over. So it might not knock you out because you got the chin to hold up, the heart to hold up, but it's going to do damage in the long run. So that's why Wilder can't take that punch. You know what I mean? That's why he can't take that punch, because at times, like, I think Tyson Fury's pressure affects Wilder's commitment to move side to side, and then by the time he's trying to think about which side to move to, boom, boom, he's getting hit with a good one too. So that's what it's like getting hit by Tyson Fury, I think, for Deontay Wilder. He's taking full-on impact of these shots, no head movement at all. So it's definitely going to break this guy down and knock him down. But in the fourth round, Deontay Wilder did come back a little bit. He landed a good straight right hand as Tyson Fury was oncoming, dropped him one time. Again, like I said, Tyson Fury, he's not one to get discouraged or be on buckled legs. Got dropped again in the fourth round. Got back up and got stronger. Where Deontay Wilder seemed to be winded after scoring those knockouts. See, that's the thing. Like, when Wilder scores 2 knockdowns or a knockdown, I think he gets a little discouraged sometimes. Like, instead of going in for the kill and becoming more methodical or his heart leveling up, and a guy gets up, it kind of discourages sometimes. I think that's sometimes most with knockout punches. You see Mike Tyson like that at times. So he never leveled up. Tyson Fury did. But then going into that 5th round on, there were some scary moments, for Tyson Fury. Wilder cracked him with some good shots, but Tyson Fury continued to walk him down. He walked him down, put that pressure on him, and just continued to take away the leverage of Deontay Wilder. When Deontay Wilder would throw his right or his hooks or try to throw hooks, Tyson Fury could absorb them, but there was really no leverage, so there wasn't that concussive power that Wilder's known for. Instead, Tyson Fury's hitting him and holding him, laying on him, and referee trying to break him. But it's a part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, at first the referee was getting on my nerves, but then I was like, hey, Tyson Fury's just doing what he's supposed to do. I know he wanted to separate and let Wilder get a chance to breathe, but Wilder, Fury's going to do what he does. You know what I mean? It's a part of the game. It's not illegal. Maybe it's too much excessive holding, but it's a part of the game. You seen Klitschko do it. The 1-2 hold, 1-2 hold. You put your weight on the guy and you sap that energy. He did it to a point, I think it was 8 or 9, whenever he put that weight on Wilder's back again. Wilder had to take a knee. You know what I mean? So yeah, just a lot of good combination punches from Tyson Fury in this fight. You know, putting them together, snapping Deontay Wilder's head back with the straight jab down the pipe, then mixing it up, going back in to maul him and just lay on him. 17 months, you know, it still wasn't a long enough time for Deontay Wilder to just get adjusted to fighting this guy's fight. You know, he just had everything in the book. You know, he wasn't going to quit on him. Finally, in round 10, you know, he dropped Wilder again. Going into that round 11, hit him with like a good two-piece or combination, I think. Wilder went reeling into the ropes, hit him with the left. Right hand drops Wilder, you know, drops him right on his side. And that was it. That was it. You know, the referee seen enough. I mean, Wilder wasn't getting up anyway, but the referee just went on and waved it off. So it was really a knockout at that point. So yeah, man, it was about 5 knockdowns in this fight. 3 for Fury, you know, round 3, 10, and 11. That was out, and 2 in round 4 for Deontay Wilder. But you know, after those 2 knockdowns in round 4, you know, Tyson Fury never looked like he was in danger of getting dropped again. You know, that was the thing. Tyson Fury just got stronger. But yeah, overall it was a good fight, a lot of action. My thoughts, so, you know, like on Deontay Wilder as a fighter, do I think he's done? I don't think he's done, man. I think he just needs some time off. I think Tyson Fury is a guy that just has his number. You know, I know a lot of people said that too, you know, said that in the past about a lot of fighters. You know, I think this is just a guy that has his number, and he has too many tools for a puncher like Wilder. You know, like I've said in the past, to beat a puncher, you have to be a good boxer, you have to have a good chin, you have to have physical strength, and you have to have defense. You have to meet a puncher head on. You have to smother him, you have to lay on him, you have to maul him, you have to brawl him. Because just because a guy's a puncher doesn't really mean he's a brawler or a mauler. You know, punchers are usually guys that can get range and set up that knockout hit, but they're not really into mauling all of the time. You know what I mean? Most maulers, they can, you know, sap that energy. They're not the hardest hitters, but they're breaking you down, you know, methodically and physically and mentally. You know, and that's what Tyson Fury, he brought to the table. He brought the boxing, he brought the brawling, he brought the mauling to the table. So, you know, I don't think Deontay Wilder will really ever be able to beat him, but he could still knock out a lot of the other heavyweights. Granted, he can get his mojo back. You know what I mean? If he can take some time off and kind of start to incorporate things to make him a better puncher, not necessarily a new boxer, a better puncher, but not a new boxer. I think that, you know, he could get his confidence back and still rack up some good wins and maybe grab another belt from, you know, Usyk or whoever. You know, he could still beat guys like Robert Helenius, maybe, you know, if the confidence is back. You know, but that's the thing, man. Whenever guys know that your aura is broken sometimes, they see you as damaged goods, they start to bully you. You know what I mean? If you go back and look at like Tarver and Jones, you know, after Tarver scored his knockout win over Jones, a lot of guys started putting the pressure on Roy. You know, his legs were gone. They started putting the pressure on him and trying to go for the knockout. It worked for Glenn Johnson and these guys, you know. So you don't know, like, if he was to fight Andy Ruiz, would they disrespect the power and try to just take away his legs and, you know, pressure him now? You know what I mean? They might try to get on the inside and pressure Wilder and rough him up now. So we'll see, man. But I don't think Wilder is done. You know, I think he is still a warrior. I would just really like to see him committed to some road work now. You know what I mean? Road work is something you can't ignore. I mean, even if you feel like you're maybe something, if you have trouble running in certain positions because of your feet, you know, I still can't. I can't use that. I can't take that as an excuse. You know, I see flat-footed people run all the time, you know, and never stop running. Road work is necessary. You know, Muhammad Ali, these guys like Marvin Hagler, they ran in dang on combat boots. You know what I mean? Would I run in combat boots now? No. But you know, that's how you make yourself tough. That's how you make them legs and them ankles tough. So when you take them things off, you put on the trunks in there, you light as a feather. You know what I mean? So there's no excuse for skipping out on road work. There's always an alternative to having to run on the road. You know, run on the treadmill, you know, put in miles on the treadmill, run, jump rope, all of these things to build that boxer strength up, that stamina and that conditioning that you need. You know what I mean? Because that's what it seems like Wilder's really having trouble with. Yeah, he went through, you know, more weightlifting, but, you know, if you don't distribute the weightlifting right, and balance it out right through training camps, it's not really gonna benefit you. You know, you still gas out, and it showed. It showed. You look at Tyson Fury, look at his body. Hey, this guy still got the boxer strength to possibly fight 15 rounds. You know, he's one of those guys that came from that that type of camp. You know, those type of trainers. Sugar Hill is taking this guy, you know, to bigger heights. You know, by helping him understand what type of body and strength he has. You know what I mean? Fighting like a big man. So yeah, man. Yeah, I just wanted to come back on and do a discussion about the fight as a whole and both of these fighters. I know a lot of people still continue to make fun of Wilder and stuff. I'm not condoning that stuff. Like, I still respect Deontay Wilder out of the ring and in the ring. He's a human. You know, he's human. What he says in the fight game, in the sport of boxing, that's, you know, that's him. That's his character. But the guy was still trying to, you know, feed. The guy came up trying to feed his family. You know what I mean? The guy came from hard life to feed his family, you know, take care of his daughter, and that's why he got into boxing, and that's what he's doing. You know, he's never been popped. He's never been popped dirty. I mean, a few excuses here and there. That's human. That's human nature. Everybody makes excuses. You know, people go through denial and guilt and all of this stuff, different stages every time they lose. You know what I mean? So that's just a part of life. But the one thing you can say is he never cheated. The guy's never cheated. Tyson Fury, I'm giving him credit for as a fighter, but as a person, I don't know. You know, he's cheated before. He's been popped. Okay, so you know, people need to, you know, they need to really see where their morals really lie before they start making fun of Wilder, like, or making Tyson Fury seem like the savior of boxing. Like, Tyson Fury's a good boxer now. He is #1 heavyweight with his skill set, but like I said, there's been some help along the way. You know, so let's be real. So I'm gonna just give you the real just like that. But when it comes down to it, you know, Wilder's just a man who's trying to feed his family, and he's done that with the sport of boxing. And, you know, he's given everybody what they always wanted, knockouts. Okay? He's always giving y'all knockouts, so you can't talk. You know, people might as well stop at the memes and trying to disrespect him with photos, you know, because he's doing things that these people can't do. That you can't do. You know, it seemed like a little bit of the boxers out here, they're kind of salty towards Wilder, you know, now too. I don't understand why they're almost like rejoicing that he lost. I'm like, why, man? Like, why? The guy's he's just a fighter trying to feed his family. So, you know, shout out to Wilder, you know, respect to him, but he is a warrior. But yeah, you know, in all honesty, speaking from a corner talk, like I always do over here, corner talk, there has to be some changes in his style, you know, not become a brand new boxer, but become a much more polished puncher to get him what he needs. You know what I mean? And that starts with road work, in my opinion. But yeah, Tyson Fury from here, maybe he can fight Usyk for undisputed if Anthony Joshua doesn't take the fight, or fight the winner of Anthony Joshua Usyk, however that goes. Yeah, man. But that's all I got on this, guys. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel here. I do more boxing videos. I'm gonna start picking back up on my boxing. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Jab Effect YouTube channel. Catch the Jab podcast there. Me and my man Boxing P. Combo Breaker 99. All boxing everything. I'm out. Peace.